Hello and welcome to lesson 27. Today our lesson is related to the passive voice. It is an introduction to the passive voice. Okay, don't worry if you're thinking, oh, what's that? I don't know. Don't worry. Hopefully in this lesson, everything will be clear by the end. Okay, so let's have a look at what we're going to cover in today's lesson. Okay, are you ready? Let's have a look. So in this class, we will look at examples of passive voice. Why do we use it? What is a past participle? And how do we change active sentences to passive? Okay, so now in this section, just have a look. I'm going to show you some objects. What's this? Do you know what this is? Cool girl, I am a cool girl. What is this? Can you see? Yes, it's a pencil case. A pencil case. Okay, so this pencil case, I'm looking, was made in China. This was made in China. Now we have here another object in this box. This is a game, and this was made in China. Okay, and now here I have a jumper. Okay, a little jumper. Can you see this jumper? And this jumper was made in Portugal. And we have here, can you see this? Do you know what this box is? This is a speaker. Okay, so you connect it to your mobile or to your computer and you can listen to music. And this was made in China. Okay. And one last object. This here, this is my son's jacket. You see? Okay, and this was, one moment, it was made in India. This was made in India. Okay, now, so we had made in Portugal. The jumper was made in Portugal. The pencil case was made in China. The game was made in China. Okay. And the speaker was made in China. Okay. So we had this was made in China. Now this sentence, made in China, you see often on objects, okay, on your clothes, on objects you have in your house. Now this sentence here is in fact a passive sentence. It's a very common passive sentence. Here, made is from the infinitive make. And made is the past participle. So there we are. Here you have a very common example of a past participle, a very common past participle. Okay, so why do we have the passive voice? Here's some example sentences. These sentences are not passive, they're active. We've got Mr. Smith made the pen. Okay, so here we have a picture of a pen. Or Mr. Jones made the pen. Or Mr. Ben made the pen. We use the passive voice often when the person who did the action, in this case, making the pen, is in fact not important. Okay, so for example, this pen was made in China. We don't know who made it, and maybe it's not important in this context. Okay, so we use passive voice. We use the subject of the sentence becomes the pen, the subject of the sentence. We change the verb form from made to was made. Okay, if you look at the original sentence, Mr. Smith made this pen, and we change it. This pen becomes the subject, was made, we change the verb form. Okay, so you can see here the difference between two verb forms. All right, so as you can see, we've got the verb be, in this case was, because it's past simple, plus the past participle. Okay, so what is the past participle? Well, I'll show you some examples. Okay, you've got here the infinitive, you've got travel. In the past simple, it's a regular verb. So the past simple is travelled. Remember, you just add ed. And the past participle of regular verbs is in fact the same as the past simple form. Now, if you speak a Latin language, this is different. The past participle is usually different to the past simple form. But in English, in regular verbs, the past participle is the same. Here's some more example. Work, worked, worked. Ask, asked, asked. See, now saw, it's an irregular verb, and the past participle has a different form. And I'm sorry, but you simply have to learn these. There's no real trick. You have to learn which verbs are regular and which verbs are irregular. And you have to learn the forms, okay, especially of the irregular verbs, okay? So in this case, the past simple form is irregular and the past participle is different. See, saw, seen. And here you can see this example, make, made, made. Make is an irregular verb, but as you can see here, the past participle is the same as past simple. Again, I'm sorry, it's just something you have to learn, okay? You just have to learn it. Okay, so in lots of course books, you can find, and lots of websites, you can find just the list of irregular verbs. Okay, right, so there were some examples of past participle. Now, here we have another example. So, I'm going to show you something here. Here I have a delicious piece of chocolate cake. Now, in an active sentence, we would say Natalie, that's me, made the chocolate cake, or Natalie made the cake. Now, if we want to make the object, the cake, the subject of the sentence, we need to use passive. So we have active, Natalie, me, made the cake. Or the cake was made by Natalie. Okay, so we make the object of the sentence the subject of the passive sentence. Okay, here we are. Let's have a look at the example. So here we go. Natalie made the cake, active. The cake is the object. Natalie is the subject. Or the cake was made by Natalie. Okay, so if we want to use the agent, the person who did it, we need to use the word by. Okay? All right. Now we could say, nom, 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 nom. Natalie ate the cake. That would be active. And it's an irregular verb. It's eat, ate. And here, look, the cake was eaten by Natalie. So here you've got the example with the verb to be was. In this case, the verb to be is in the past because the action was in the past. Okay. Now, here I've highlighted here the cake. You can see it moves position and you can see a clear change in the verb forms. All right. Now, here are some more examples. This jumper here, this beautiful, nice jumper was made in Scotland. Or plastic is left on beaches all over the world. That is very true. There's a big problem with plastic, okay? And the video was posted on Facebook. So here you've got the verbs that highlight the verbs for you, okay? Can you see here? With the passive, you have two verbs. You've got verb to be. In the first sentence, it's in past. And in the second sentence, it's in present because it's a general fact. And in the third sentence, it's in past. So you've got was, is, was. And then you have the past participle. Now here we've got two irregular past participles, made and left. And then we've got one regular past participle, posted. A very typical sentence. Some more examples. Video was uploaded to YouTube. Every year, thousands of people are killed on the road. This house was built in 1784. And again, here I'll highlight for you the verb form. So you've got was, verb to be, uploaded, past participle. It's a regular verb. And again, are in present with the past participle. The verb kill is a regular verb. So the past participle looks the same as the past simple. And the last one, very common example, the house was built, constructed in 1784. So you can see there the way that we use the verb when we're using a passive sentence. Now here I'm putting on the screen here, we're just looking here at the verb to be in present simple and past simple. Just to remind you, I am. In past simple, I was. You are. You were. He is. He was. We are. We were. They are. They were. You are. You were. Now, passive sentences can actually be used in all tenses, but this is an introduction to passive voice. It's just an introduction, so we are only looking at examples with present simple, passive, and past simple, passive. Okay, so let's have a look at here. I'm going to put on the screen now some past participles. They are the past participles. Some are regular, some are irregular. So I want you to look at the verbs and see if you can guess the infinitives. So I recommend you put this the video on pause and see if you can write down the infinitives of the verbs. Okay, so here we go. Here are the verbs. Okay, listen to the pronunciation of the past participles. We've got built, seen, written, discovered, made, started, found, and eaten. Now I'm going to put up the infinitives. Build, see, write, discover, it's a regular verb, make, start, another regular verb, find, and eat. Okay, so well done. How did you do with those past participles? I recommend you try to learn the past participles. Also, don't forget to learn the past simple forms because this will help you be quicker when you are trying to speak. Okay, give you more security. So it's a good idea to write down the list of these verbs and try to remember them every day. Remember, language, it's very, very, very important that you practice. You do a little bit every day. Okay, now let's look. Now, this is where you have to do some work. Okay, so I am going to put some sentences, some active sentences on the screen. Make sure you understand them. If you have a problem with vocabulary, pause the video, use a dictionary. There's a very good online dictionary called Word Reference. I recommend it. So use a dictionary, make sure you understand the sentence before you try to write the passive sentence. Okay, it's very important. Right, so here's the first sentence. They built the house in 1983. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the answer. The house was built in 1983. So here the active sentence is in past simple. So in the passive sentence, the verb to be is in the past simple. Okay, are you ready for the next sentence? Fleming discovered penicillin in 1928. Okay, are you ready for the answer? Penicillin was discovered by Fleming. If you want to mention who discovered it, you can put by Fleming in 1928. Okay, now some more examples. He wrote this article in 1954. Right? Okay, so notice the verb wrote comes from the infinitive write. And if you remember the past participle, it's an irregular past participle. I'm going to put the answer now. This article was written. Notice it has two T's, a double T. Why? Why is because of the pronunciation. The double T makes the I, okay, because it's not written, it's written. Okay, written. So we need a double T to change the pronunciation of that I. Okay, next sentence. They found the dog. They were looking, the dog. Okay, I'm going to put the answer on now. The dog was found. So again, the sentence is in past simple, the active sentence. So we put the verb to be in the past simple. Okay. All right. company started production in 2012. The company started production in 2012. Okay, so how do we make this passive? Okay, good. So production becomes the subject of the sentence. Production was started in 2012. So we've got started. Why? Because it's a regular verb. Okay. Right, so how are you doing? Right, I'm going to put 3 more sentences on the screen. You can pause the video and write the answers to the 3 sentences, and then I will put the sentences on the screen for you to check your answers. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. Here are the 3 sentences. Right. Okay, are you ready then for the answers? If not, pause the video and finish. Okay. Here we go. Here are the answers. The children were given some sweets by us. Notice we changes to by us, but probably we don't need to use the agent because it's not actually that important. The important thing is the children and the sweets, not us. Okay, and number 2, the girl was found by the dog. Or you could say the girl was found. That's the important thing. The girl was found. And the last one, the video was uploaded by me last week. Here we are. You can see it better now. So the video was uploaded. Uploaded is a regular verb. By me last week. Okay. Now, so that was quite a lot of information. I think really with passive, we use it a lot in written texts. So you find that not only on your objects in your house and your clothes, you'll find examples of passive, but also when you're reading, we use the passive voice a lot in formal texts. So I think it's a good idea to go and try and read some information. Now, where can you find information? Think of something like a place, for example, you want to go, or a famous person that you want information about, like Shakira or Charles Darwin or Fleming or anybody. Have a look and read some information about these people in English, okay? Also, there was one thing I wanted to say about the last lesson. If you've seen lesson 26, in the last lesson we did describing a process. Now, you can find excellent examples of the language we looked at in describing a process if you go to WikiHow. WikiHow, do you know WikiHow? WikiHow is a fantastic website where you can find how to do anything. For example, how to make a cake, how to make a good cup of tea, how to write a song, how to anything. So I'm giving you this homework today, 2 pieces of homework. One, to go and find some information on the internet about a place or a person So a place you want to visit or a person you want to know more information about. That's one. Second, go to WikiHow. Have a look in English. In English, find something that you're interested in. It has everything. How to make a pencil case, how to bake a cake, how to construct a shelf, anything and everything. It's fantastic. Okay, and remember, you can watch this lesson again and again and again for extra information. So I really hope you found this class useful. Don't forget to do the test, because I think that the test will help consolidate some of the information. Remember, you can do the test again and again and again and again as well. So it will really help you to remember. Okay, so here's a reminder of what we did in today's class. We looked at examples of passive voice. Why do we use it? What is a past participle? And how do we change active sentences to passive? Okay, so thank you very much. I really hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and I will see you in lesson 28. Okay, so I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.